Hi everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to see completed square. First, it's important to remember how to find a solution using square roots. If we have the next exercise, x squared plus 10 equals to 46. Then we need to find the value of x. We need to isolate for it. First of all, we're going to move what is adding or subtracting, in this case the 10. Okay, we subtract 10 both sides, we cancel 10, we have minus 10 in the right, and the 4 is multiplying. And it's going to be dividing in the other side. First, we're going to solve this. 46 minus 10 is 36. Now, x squared is equals to, the 4 is multiplying. It's going to divide in this side. Let's continue here. Then x squared is equals to 9. How to cancel the second power? Well, we can raise to the square root at both sides to cancel the second power. And x equals to positive or negative 3. Why positive and negative? That means every time we have a square root, we have two possible answers. Another way to write this is x could be positive 3 or x could be negative 3. Both answers are correct. Let's see another exercise. If we have 3x squared minus 5 equals 25. Again, the objective of this one is to isolate for x, because remember, we're going to solve the solution. We're going to solve the question using square roots. First, always you're going to move what is adding or subtracting, okay? In this case, the 5 is subtracting. Then in the other side, you will be adding 25 plus 5. Then 3x squared equals to 30. And now the 3 is multiplying the x squared. It will be dividing in the other side. X squared is equals to 10. Now, again, to cancel the square root, we're going to use, to cancel the second power, we're going to use the square root. And the square root of x squared is x. And the square root of 10, well, we're going to let it here. But remember, we're always going to have a positive or negative answer, okay? Then one way I can say this is x equals to positive square root of 10. And the other answer is when x is equals to negative square root of 10. Now we're going to find the solution. We're going to solve a perfect square trinomial. Okay, let's say we have the next equation. X squared plus 4x plus 4 equals to 25. Okay, we need to factorize this part. Remember, we have two ways. If we already know this is a perfect square trinomial, then the only thing that we need to do is just copy. It's going to be the first term, the last term, the square root of the last term, which is 2, all of this to the second power, and the sign to the middle term, which is positive here. If we want to check our answer, or if we don't remember how to solve it, we can factorize. Okay, remember how to factorize this? Well, we're just going to write factor of x squared, xx, factor of 4, 2, and 2. Then we do cross multiplication. And we have 2x and 2x. When we add, we have the middle term for x. Then I copy my first binomial, my x plus 2, and my second binomial, x plus 2. X plus 2 times x plus 2. Okay, I'm just factorizing the first part, then all of this is going to be equal to 25. And x plus 2 times x plus 2, because it's the same, I can rewrite it in this way. X plus 2 to the second power equals to 25. Again, I need to cancel the second power. Well, we're going to use square root at both sides. Just remember, I'm going to have a positive and negative answer. I can say I can cancel the square root with the second power and have x plus 2 equals to, more or less, and the square root of 25 is 5. How can I understand this? Well, I'm going to have two possible answers. One of them is going to be x plus 2 is equals to positive 5, and the other answer is x plus 2 is equals to negative 5. Then this 2 is positive, it's going to be subtracting because I need to isolate for x. I have 5 minus 2, and x will be 3. And in this case, x is minus 5 minus 2, and x will be minus 7. And those are going to be my two answers. Both are good, okay? Now completing the square. You can form a perfect square trinomial from x squared plus bx if we add b over 2, all of this raised to the second power. What does it mean? If we have x squared plus bx, and we take the value of the b, we divide it by 2 and raise to the second power, then we are transforming this expression in a perfect square trinomial. And as you can remember, how to factorize a perfect square trinomial, well, we're just going to copy the first term, the square root of the first term is x, and the square root of the last term is b divided by 2, and all of these will be to the second power, and we're going to copy the positive sign. Okay, let's do an example. If we have x squared minus 10x how we can transform this in a perfect square trinomial? Well, we need to remember the standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. Then the value or the coefficients next to the x squared is going to be the value of a. The value or the coefficient next to the b, next to the x, is going to be the value of b. And the last number is going to be c. Which values do we have here? Remember, we are interested in find the value of b. That's going to be the value next to the x. In this case, the value of b is equals to 10. Okay, the value of b is equals to negative 10. Then we need to apply our formula. We're going to find how much is b divided by 2, all of this to the second power. How much is this? Well, I have negative 10 divided by 2 to the second power. Remember, here is important to remember the order operations. Okay, we're going to do first the parentheses and then the exponents. Minus 10 divided by 2 is equals to negative 5 raised to the second power. And minus 5 squared is the same as minus 5 times minus 5, which is 25 positive, right? Okay. Now we're going to rewrite our expressions and write it in this way. We have x squared minus 10x plus 25. And this will be equals to what? Okay, remember, this will be equals to the square root of the first term, parentheses, the square root of the first term, which is x, and the square root of the last term, which is 5. Okay, all of this to the second power. But which sign I'm going to use? I'm going to use the middle sign. Always I'm going to use the sign I have next to b. Because it's negative, we're going to write negative. Now we're going to find a solution using the completing the square. Okay, if we have the next equation, 3x squared minus 12x plus 6. And all of this is equals to 0. Well, because they're asking to us to solve the solution using completing square, we're going to move. We're going to move the 6 to the other side. We're just going to have 3x squared minus 12x, and this will be equals to negative 6. Okay, why? Because remember, we already said, if we want to complete the square, we need to have something like this. Ax squared plus bx. Okay? And to this one, we need to add b divided by 2 to a second power. Okay, then we are just going to let ax squared plus bx. That's why we are moving the 6 to the other side. Now we're going to complete the square, but before, next to the x squared, this is an important thing, next to the x squared, I need to have a number 1, okay? Then how can I cancel this number 3, or how can I convert this 3 in 1? Well, one thing that I can do is divide all my terms divided by 3. Why? Because this is an equation. Then what happened to one term needs to happen to all the terms at the same time. Then this is x squared minus 4x equals to negative 2. Okay, now I have the value of a equals to 1. Then I can continue. Now we're going to complete the square. X squared minus 4x plus b. What is the value of b? The value of b is going to be equals to negative 4. Then is negative 4 divided by 2 to the second power equals to negative 2. But you see, I am adding something in the left. That means I need to add exactly the same thing in the right. plus negative 4 divided by 2 to the second power. X squared minus 4x plus minus 4 divided by 2 is negative 2, and negative 2 to the second power is positive 4. Then minus 2 plus 4. Now, because this is a perfect square trinomial, because we convert it to a perfect square trinomial, we are sure the factorization of this one is going to be x plus, x minus, because we're going to copy the middle sign, x minus 2 to the second power equals to positive 2. How to cancel the second power? Using the square root. And remember, we're going to have a positive or negative square root of 2. Then we can cancel the second power with the square root. And what we have is x minus 2 equals to more or less square root of 2. Finally, we can rewrite this as x equals to 2 more or less square root of 2. And that's going to be my final answer.